We got a Patreon request here. This one's from Patreon member Jared Roller. This is for the movie, the 1993's Dead Alive, also known as Brain Dead. And on this episode, movie breakdowns, I'm going to talk about. Before I get started, if there's a review you want me to do, let me know. Please put in the comment section below and I get to it as best I can. Also on Patreon, Zakka. For $2 a month, you get to cut in front of everybody, get your review out before it comes out on Facebook and YouTube. Now let's go and get into today's episode of 1993 Dead Alive, that was directed by Peter Jackson. And this is actually one of the first time I'm actually going to do a synopsis, read it offline, because this is probably the best way to explain this movie. So, an overprotective mother, Vera, is spying on her grown son Lionel as he visits the zoo with a lovely Parkita, who is a girl he's on a date with, when she's accidentally bitten by this rat monkey and turns her into a zombie. And then Lionel is trying to protect his mother by keeping her locked away, but she keeps escaping, and her bites turn pretty much the whole town into a zombie herd, and Lionel has to find a way to stop his mother as well as survive the herd of zombies. This movie is wild. It is ridiculous. It's a comedy horror. And the first part of the movie, when I realized this was a comedy horror, is when Lionel's mom, Vera, she's getting transformed into a zombie. She's not dead yet. She's getting transformed into a zombie, and she's trying to put makeup on her. I think she's trying to like do something to her face, and she like cut a piece of her skin off. And we at the same time, I was watching it, I go, oh. And, and Vera goes, oh. Oh. And that right there, when I had the same reaction as the main character, one of the main characters of this movie, I knew this movie was a joke. This movie is hilarious. It's definitely horrific, and there's graphics in this movie. You'd be like, that's wild. I don't know if I should be impressed or should I be like, yeah, this is just ignorant. Because like there are times in this movie where like some of the puppetry and the things they was doing was very creative and over the top, and I was like, you know, that's interesting. A dude gets body chopped in half and he's still walking with his hands. Like, okay, that's interesting. But then also at the same time, it's his spine and his butt, and it's like the intestines and his passing gas, and you're just like, oh, it was cool for a moment and now you ruined it. You ruined it. Who wrote this? This movie is ridiculous. There's a main character, Lionel's punching babies like a zombie baby. Zombies are hooking up, and you have a zombie baby, and then the baby is trying to attack people, and Lionel grabs the baby, punches the baby, beat the baby up, like drop kick this baby, and I'm like, well, we're doing this. We're getting wild in this movie. So let's kind of talk about the things I like. The Kung Fu priest. I swear to gosh, I lost it. He jumped down, he was like, I kick ass for the Lord. He legit has a Mortal Kombat fight with zombies. Like, this man did a Liu Kang bicycle kick, well, one leg bicycle kick. Just kicking this, just kicking the zombie's butt. And I'm like, who wrote this? This movie is hilarious. It is hilarious. Cheesy, over the top, ridiculous, ignorant. Like, I'm trying to think of the last movie I watched where I was like, it is a horror movie, but it's also a comedy. So it's a horror comedy, a lot of dark humor in this movie, and this is not your style of movie. You won't really enjoy this, but you love just dark humor, then you're gonna lose your mind in this movie. This movie is so goofy and stupid and ignorant. Like, there's a scene where Lionel is, he gets a chainsaw, not a chainsaw, a lawnmower. He picks the lawnmower up, and he's holding it like this. So like the blade is facing the zombie. So imagine the blade facing the camera. I wish I had something like, okay, imagine it's the lawnmower, imagine it's the blade facing the camera. He comes in, he goes, party's over. And then he starts cutting through the zombie, and blood and everything's flowing on this dude's face. Then he gets through he might only got 5 zombies. Like, he went through this line, and the zombie, he turns around thinking like he did this amazing, like, I mean, it felt like forever the way he was cutting down these zombies, and this one, like, his heroic climactic moment, and he turns around, and like the zombies are like looking at him as he pretty much made an owl, like made this owl, and there's zombies on the side looking at him like. Here's a scene that reminiscent of. If you've seen the movie The Emperor's New Groove, and Cusco and not Chado, the guy that John Goodman plays, I can't think of his name right now, but John Goodman's character goes down to try to save Cusco, and he misses Cusco, and the Panthers like split, and then they come back and look at Cusco again. That Pacha is his name. When Pacha comes down, swing and miss, and they like get out the way and they come back and look at Cusco again. That's what I felt like watching this movie. When Lionel turned around like, yeah, I saved the day, and it was like, bruh, you didn't do anything. Yeah, the movie is, the comedy aspect of it did hit for me. I did enjoy the comedy of this movie, and there's certain time the props and the costume design, the costume artwork work for me in this movie, where you think that's a very interesting costume design. It's very interesting makeup and artistry and the cinematography, not even the cinematography, but the special effects, I would say, or like the visual effects in this movie, the prompts in this movie worked for me. Like, it was very intriguing to see something that came from 1993 and it didn't look super cheesy. It worked for the year it came out in. I was here for it. The things I didn't like, the line reads. The line reads in this movie are bad. Like, the characters will stop and pause and say something like, "No, mother, I got this one." Like, what? Or that one liner, for example, where he like comes in like, "Shh, party's over." Like, you're like, oh my gosh, it's cheesy as all get out. There's a scene where the mom dies and the nurse comes in, and the nurse picks up the phone, and I guess she's calling the hospital. The mom dies, and she goes, "Lionel." The nurse goes, "Lionel, the mother's dead." And he looks at her, and the nurse goes, "We did everything we can do." And I'm like, you just showed up 5 minutes. Not even that. There's nothing. You did nothing. You came in, looked at her, picked up the phone, and said, "Oh, she's dead. We did everything, we tried everything we can do." You didn't do anything. Like, who wrote this? Or there's a scene where like the mom just teleported. I guess maybe time passed. I don't know. But she teleported into the bedroom after eating the dog, and Paquita comes back and she goes, "Your mom ate my dog." Like, well, I didn't even see the scene happen. Or a scene where Lionel just takes all the zombies and just appear in the breakfast room and he's feeding them. Like, how did they get there? How did, like, people just move for no reason in this movie? That's one thing I didn't like. It's just people teleported to certain scenes for the scene to happen. The line reads are bad. Like, it's a, I don't know how to describe this movie. It's like a horrible good movie. Like, there's parts of this movie where it worked, and there's parts of the movie where you're like, plot. Give me some story, please. Don't just rotate stuff. Just don't. Well, he somehow got all 6 bodies of the zombies and teleported them to his apartment. How? When? Like, his mom died. They buried her. They did a funeral. And then he goes to pick up his mom at the grave because Lionel can't leave his mom, can't quit his mom. Like, dude, she abused you and had you, like, so sheltered that you can't go talk to girls without her being there and interrupting your life, and you're just clinging to your mother. Pick her up a lot, like pick her up from the grave, and then she turns some like bullies into, or punker bike dudes into zombies, and then you just take them all and put them into your basement. Like, what? And he does say like, "I can't quit my mom, like that's why I'm doing this." But then at the end of the movie, he pretty much defeats his mom, who turned into the final boss, to like the queen of all like zombies. Is a very, like, I don't know how to describe it. She put him inside her womb or stomach, and he like cuts stuff out of it, and he gets the girl at the end of the movie. They survive the horrible night, and all I could think of was, what the heck did I just watch? Yep, it's one of those movies. It's one of those. All right, let's go and get to cast, director, acting, and budget. So, Dead Alive came out in 1990. Oh, this is 1992. When I watched it and saw it, people said 1993. So I guess it's somewhere between that time the movie came out. The original title is Brain Dead. This movie is an hour and 44 minutes. It's rated R. It is directed by Peter Jackson, and writers are Stephen St. Clair, Fran Walsh, and Peter Jackson. The budget for this movie was $3 million estimate and gross worldwide $242,000. So this movie didn't make its money back. His estimate made $3 million was the estimate. This movie didn't touch or sniff $3 million. And you sniff $1 million. That's crazy. The cast and crew, you have Timothy Blame, who played Lionel. He was cool. Like, he played the character of being the mama's boy. Like, one thing I would say about this movie, that all the actors and actresses, they played their part. They went 110% in. I didn't feel like they were cutting it short. I just feel like the line read and the writing for them was bad. But Lionel himself, I thought he was a character. Like, I was like, it didn't make sense the stuff he was doing. And he finally explains it. But at the same time, why keep the other zombies if you only wanted your mother and try to hide them for whatever reason? But I thought he did a good job. Timothy, I thought he did a good job as Lionel, who's like this mama's boy who didn't know how to be himself kind of thing, still living at home, grown man kind of situation. He played like a meek, mild-mannered kind of character like Peter Parker, but not as courageous as Peter Parker. But then he does become courageous and find a way to step out of his mom's shadow and destroy these zombies after surviving all these zombies. I thought he did a good job. Diana Pena Lover. Sorry, I mentioned the name of who played Paquita. Thought she did a great job. She's more heroic in this movie. She's the one who's like, when she seen what's going on, she's like, I want to just fight everything, run away, fight stuff, run away, fight stuff, run away. Thought she did a good job. I enjoyed her character, her trying to like find a lover, and she like attached herself to Lionel because her grandma said that this would be her forever partner, and she was like just trying to make this relationship happen no matter what, but she had to fight her way through these zombies to make it happen. I liked her. I thought she was cool. Elizabeth Moody, who played Vera Cosgrove, who is the mom, she was that lady. She was that lady who you're like, I don't like this character. She's immediately the bad character. And then when she becomes a zombie, it just gets out of hand. And you're like, oh, shoot. Okay. And she's still attacking and still being crazy. But as far as the part where Elizabeth could be like human, I thought she was great and thought she was phenomenal in her role. And then Ian Watkins, who played Uncle Les, he's kind of like the antagonist to Lionel after the mom died, but then he was also fighting all the zombies, and there's a scene where he's like chopping zombies, but it quick takes to him chopping zombies. He's like, don't know why, but that scene, I was like, this movie is ridiculous. Also, he is the subject of a bunch of ball shots and crotch shots and like dick kicks. I don't know why. I don't know why he could get punched and picked up and hit in the balls, but apparently this man has balls of steel because he got hit at least 7 times in this movie. He kept getting back up and kept fighting. I don't know. For whatever reason, that's one thing I remember from this character. He kept getting hit in the balls, and he's like, oh, and then he's like, I'm gonna fight this baby. Oh, and then the balls, I'm gonna fight this guy. Like, why? Why? Who made this? Peter Jackson, why? But yeah, I enjoyed the character. I enjoyed the characters. This movie is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Any other thoughts? You know what? There's a scene they did it twice. They actually did it multiple times. They zoom out and zoom in. So like something would get punched and it will fly away, and it shows the thing flying away from its angle, and then it will bounce back for some reason. It shows it moving forward again, but it shows the camera zoom in and zoom out on it. I don't know why Peter Jackson loved this. He did it like 4 different times in the movie, especially with the baby or anything small. It will fly away. Like there's a dude, zombie head on the ground who's looking like, I can't move, I can see everything going on, and he gets punched and he slides away and he gets hit back and he slides back in. This movie, Peter Jackson loved that camera trick. I don't know why. I don't know why. And the baby was a one. Okay, I get it. You can make a real zombie baby. I get that. But the toy, it was one of those doll toys, the little baby doll toys you see the kids play with. It was one of those, and it was so stiff. This movie is something else. I'm done. Music was fine. I don't remember much of the music score of this movie, and it doesn't stand out, but I don't think the music was you're looking for this movie for. If you're a fan of comedy, I think if dark comedy for sure, you definitely enjoy this movie. If you're a fan of horror, you'll be like, you're gonna see some horrific stuff in this movie, and you'll be like, oh, interesting. Okay, I'm here for it. Is this a Friday night movie? Nah, I don't think this is a Friday night movie. I don't think this is a movie you watch with your friends, get right together. Maybe you don't have a bad horror movie night or a funny horror movie night, go for it. But if you're trying to do like a serious movie night, do not watch this movie. You're gonna be like, what the heck is going on here? Grading time. I'm gonna grade Dead Alive from 1992, 1993. I'm gonna give this movie a C-. It gets a 70% for me. At first, I was like, this movie is horrible, but then it did its job. It's a comedy horror movie, so I did find myself laughing. I did find myself in shock and awe, but not for the right reasons. It's just some bad dialogue, bad line. The storyline, as storylines go, it's a comedy movie, so you're not going to take it super seriously, but stuff when people just teleport in places always just throws me off. Like, how we get here? I want the details. Pick up the body and show me you're carrying the body with you. But then we get the Kung Fu Priest, which is probably my favorite part of the movie. Amazing. It's over the top. It definitely is. I give this movie a 70%, a C-. Let's see what IMDb gives this movie and Rotten Tomatoes gives this movie. IMDb gives this movie a 7.5 out of 10. That's a C. And Rotten Tomatoes, the critics give this movie an 89%. That is a B+, and the audience give it an 87%, which is a B. So Rotten Tomatoes and the critic think this movie is a B movie. I think this movie, as long as we're IMDb, are in a 70 range. I think it's a C-. They say it's a C. But yeah, that is my thoughts on the movie Dead Alive, my review of it. If you've seen Dead Alive, what did you think? Please put in the comment section below on that. See you guys in the next episode of Movie Breakdowns, and keep being awesome. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I really appreciate that. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. If there's a review you want me to watch or do, let me know. Please put it in the comment section below this video. Also, you want to watch the last episode of Movie Breakdowns, it's right there. Just gotta click on it and you'll be able to watch it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Love y'all, and keep being awesome.